Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do. Continuing on some Dynasty rankings. Craft man, what's going on, big dog?
Same thing, sitting in this hot-ass garage. It's been like 90 for like the past 10 days, and it's going to be close to 100 the rest of the week, but, you know, it all don't matter when you're talking football, so I'm just ready to get to it. Got my cousin in the house. Ian, what's going on?
What up, guys? I'm sitting in the cool sunroom eating some chili ice cream. Just ready to talk some foosball, baby. The fake shit. Take it away, Mr. Matt.
So chili ice cream, is that what you said?
It's chillier than the polar bear's asshole, boy.
Okay, I got you, man. I thought you were talking about a chili flavored ice cream.
Oh, no. On another.
Sounds terrible.
All right, so basically, we're going to do what we've been doing. We've already given you quarterbacks. We've already given you running backs. Now we're about to give you wide receivers. Me and the Craft Man got a list. Ian got a list. And pretty much do what we've been doing on these Dynasty episodes. Talk about some of the differences out there. We ain't going to go through and just list them out, yada, yada, yada. But I will post them if you want to see our list all the way through. You know how it is. Craft Man, anything else I got to say?
Nah, you're good. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to do it.
All right, then. Well, basically like this. We've been saying there's a tier 1 in Dynasty wide receivers. The tier 1, it goes, there's a main 4 guys up in there, and you put them in any order. You got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CD Lamb, and Amon Ra. And basically why I'm talking about tier 1 is because I got a disagreement with Kraft and in tier 1. I don't know if it's spicy or not, but I got, really, as of right now, all 3 of us got 3 different guys at number 1, so you can't really go wrong either way. But I got CD Lamb at number 1, and I'm a little bit lower on Jamar. You guys got Jamar, or you got Jamar at 1. Ian's got Jamar at 2.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a difference, but what say you, Craft Man?
I mean, the reason I got Jamar at 1 is try not to have too much recency bias. CD Lamb definitely had the best year of all of them last season. But he was the only one of these top 3, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, who had a healthy quarterback last season. So I think that kind of boosted him up the rankings. I made the argument if you were to flip the switch a little bit and Dak got hurt last year and Joe Burrow stayed healthy, I think Jamar Chase would be ahead of him. So I'm not going to rank these guys based on what quarterback stayed healthy last year. I'm going to base it on what quarterback I like the most. With Joe Burrow throwing Jamar Chase the ball, I think Jamar Chase is more talented than CD. And I'm not going to go off last year because quarterbacks get injured, and that's just what happens. If you bury Jamar Chase, the only reason you're doing it is you're pretty much predicting that Joe Burrow can't stay healthy, which I don't like to do. So that's why I got him up at 1. What say you, Ian?
Yeah, man. Jamar, I love that at number 1. He's got great quarterback, great young quarterback. They got a lot of talent. That team went from 0 to hero with a quickness with the addition of Burrow and Chase. They built some stuff around them. But the reason I put JJ a half point above Jamar Chase is just the natural talent, man. I think JJ is just the guy when it comes to natural talent. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is right there with him. Jamar Chase is a smooth operator. You know, he kind of gets overlooked, you know. But I really honestly think Justin Jefferson is quarterback proof. He's one of the only quarterback proof receivers in the league. And that just barely puts him over the top for me with JJ. I mean Jamar Chase. And like I said, Joe Burrow, better quarterback, you know, there for a long time. They work together. So you can't go wrong. But honestly, just the natural talent from Justin Jefferson just gives him that, not just that edge over for me.
All right. My thing is like, we're talking about situation-wise. You're talking about not going off last year, Joe Burrow. He's missed the season multiple times now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this ain't just a one-off. And one thing my thing is Jamar Chase, his highest finish is 5. I ain't knocking that, but I'm just saying CD's done better than that, and JJ's done better than that. Heck, Amon Ra's done better than that. And a lot of these people have had inconsistencies at quarterback. Like CD had inconsistencies at quarterback. Dak was out. He's out there playing with them Cooper Rush and all them. CD really didn't get excuses like Jamar be getting. That's the only reason I flip-flop. It's just a little inconsistent. Plus, a little less competition in Dallas. I mean, CD's messing with nobody. They're about to lead the league in NFL pass attempts this year. CD's going to be right there at the forefront. I mean, Cincinnati, I'm just saying their weapons are just better up there in Dallas. They might have a little bit more of a run game. Things are
Weapons
just
are
going to
better.
be than Dallas. Cincinnati with T. Higgins and all that. So it's like less competition. They're going to be slinging the rock.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit more to it.
Yeah. I mean, CD's great. Like we said, you can pretty much take any of these guys and you're going to be just fine. But within the only reason I got Chase above JJ is the quarterback play. But if you go on just production alone, Justin Jefferson's the best. I mean, he's the most talented. He, like you said, he's done it with multiple quarterbacks. He was going off last season with Nick Mullins at the end of the year.
Right.
And but Joe Burrow just got to stay healthy. I mean, it's more of a risky pick with Chase, just based on Joe Burrow's injury history. I mean, if Joe Burrow goes down again, we're just gonna have to have. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, and we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see if Jamar Chase is quarterback proof too. Which, I mean, he's a great receiver, man, and he deserves number 1 too. He's top 2 in the league, so you can't take that. Nothing's gonna take that away from him. We'll see how it goes, man. That's why I love this game, because anything can change. Any given Sunday, win the Super Bowl and drive off in a Hyundai.
So Jamar to me is AJ Brown with a better quarterback.
I mean, he could be. Jamar Chase was the wide receiver 11 last season with Joe Burrow missing all them games, so it's not like he was terrible.
Right.
I mean,
he's still tier 1.
Cooper Rush was starting all season, or at least 12 games out of the season. I don't think CD. I mean, CD probably around that wide receiver 11 range too. I don't think he's up there at 1.
No.
Yeah, especially with those street receivers like CD and Jamar and JJ. The ones that go out for those deep routes, man, you really have to be an accurate quarterback. When it comes to those streak routes, it really comes down to that. You can't have one without the other, and if he has to pull off just a little bit of that speed to catch the ball, that's the difference between a completion and an incompletion. So, a quarterback has a lot to do with those superstar receivers being great and being not. I mean, they can make crazy ass plays, but not 5 times a game. You got to put it in there for them sometime. So it's really hard to scale them up when they don't have the best quarterback there. But being quarterback proof is a really big feat, man. And I think JJ and CD definitely have shown that. Jamar, not as much, but still, I mean, the boy can ball.
When Jamar goes off, he just goes off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're talking 50-point games, 200 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns in a single game. JJ does it too, but I mean, CD, he's a little bit more on that consistent side, but he can still have some big weeks.
Ooh, I'm ready for some football, boys. I don't know about y'all.
Man, you ain't lying. So, all right. So basically, right here, I'm not saying this is like all our tier 2s, but we all I think we got a 4 in common. Marv, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson.
We should do Marv Harrison
somewhere around there. Marv, I got Marv at 5. Craftman, you got Marv at 5. A little high for a rookie, but to me, he's top of tier 2.
Where do I got Marv? Where's my Marv at?
You got Marv right over there at 8 behind AJ Brown, so you burying his ass.
That's a high rookie. No, that's high for me, bro.
I know him. Me and Craftman, we took him and threw him up high. Crab Man, we won't stay on Marv too long, but I mean, it feels like everybody's probably got Marv right there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to. Earlier in the offseason, Puka was above Marv, but, just coming to think about Puka, you got Matthew Stafford at the end of his career. You don't really know exactly what's going to happen with their quarterback. But with Marv, as much as you want to, try to be against the rookie, it's just hard to see him not receiving like 150 targets this year, and just being great. There's just a couple generational talents that come out every now and again, and this is one of them. So you don't want to be ranking him too low, and then next year be like, he's right up there with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
which he might be, man. And that kid had a phenomenal rookie year. So we'll see, man. There's no way I'm putting Marvin Harrison above
Puka.
Yeah.
Yep. See, and for instance, he's a little bit different. He's got Garrett Wilson, Puka, and AJ Brown ahead of Marv.
Yeah.
We're kind of all in that same area. I got Puka the lowest at 9. I put Puka behind Tyreek.
I can see Puka and Garrett Wilson, but I don't think AJ Brown should be above Marvin Harrison in any aspect. Just based on AJ Brown is a little older. I still think the reason I say Garrett Wilson is because I still think with Garrett Wilson's talent, you get him a good quarterback in there, for this year. He's got one for this year, but if he gets consistent quarterback play, Garrett Wilson can be up there with the big dogs too.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
100%.
I got AJ Brown at 6. It was a little debate for me to go AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson. I went AJ Brown. I think just consensus, everybody's just a little bit lower on AJ Brown right now, just because of the way the Eagles collapsed last year. It obviously it bothers me some, but I think they'll come in here and they'll fix it up a little bit. They got what's his name coming in, Kellen Moore coming in. Makes me think they're gonna be throwing the ball a little more. So
They also
I'm
got
fine with AJ Brown. Say what in?
They also have Saquon Barkley coming in.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley. And if you remember the first half of the year, it was really AJ Brown and Tyreek Hill going off like crazy.
Yes.
So terrible back half. Terrible back half. There's no doubt about it. But I think that's the reason why I feel like a lot of people are a little bit lower on AJ Brown. I'm not saying we are. I mean, Kraft's got him at 7. I got him at 6. And Ian's got him at 7. So we're kind of all in the same ballpark. But
yeah.
I think I've seen on like Keep Trade Cut. I know Keep Trade Cut don't mean too much, but I've been on there. I've seen it. I've seen him down there like below Neighbors. Heck, we was in that startup Craft, man. We were talking about AJ Brown going after Olave and stuff like that. Like, the consensus on AJ Brown is definitely low right now. I kind of want to stay steady, Eddie. I feel like we all did in this situation. So what'd you say, Craft, man?
Talent, man. You can't deny the talent. He's one of those. He can work with it. He can work with it.
Yeah, it's recency bias again with the way the community is looking at him. If you'd have flip-flopped AJ Brown's first half and made it the second half of the year, nobody would be, scared of him at all. But like we said with Kellen Moore, I listened to a podcast the other day, the Footballers Dynasty podcast. I think they were talking about Kellen Moore and his offenses. They really featured the slot receiver. So Devontae Smith might get a little bit more work this season than he has been in the past because, Kellen Moore worked with Keenan Allen, who was great. He worked with CeeDee Lamb in the slot a lot when he was with Dallas. He knows how to get the slot receiver involved, and I think Devontae Smith's going to be the guy moving into the slot more than A.J. Brown this season. Yeah. So I think Devontae Smith might be a little lower on people's list than he should be too.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to look at him right now. Well, I feel like I got him at a fair spot. But yeah, I agree. And man, if that's true, man, Devontae Smith making my home league team look just super scary right now, Kraft, man.
Should have a good year.
I'm with you though. All right, so what's next? All right, another one, Tyreek Hill. I got him at 8. Kraftman's got him at 9. Ian's got him at 9. So I'm the highest. I think after all these years, I was always kind of a little iffy to put him up at some places. This might be the highest I've ever had Tyreek, I think. I just don't think the dude's going to retire and all that stuff. And even if it is 2 years, it's just 2. I mean, 2 years of Tyreek. I would go into a startup right now and take Tyreek Hill and go win 2 championships. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you know, 8, I feel like that's fine. And the thing is, it's above Puka. Because I got Puka at 9. I know mine's a little controversial, I guess. But
I feel like Tyreek will win you a championship before Puka will. Before,
I
not
don't know though.
But before.
Yeah. Tyreek still going like number 1 receiver in redraft. He's the Christian McCaffrey of the wide receiver group. You know,
Yeah.
we have McCaffrey at number 4 running back wise, just because the running back class ain't as deep, or just the running backs in general. But, you know, you got a lot of young talent who can put up, you know, 3/4 of Tyreek production and have them for, you know, six years instead of 2. So, you know, that's why you got to keep them guys ahead. But, you know, Tyreek drafting like a Tyreek McCaffrey in a dynasty league ain't. You know,
Right.
you can win a championship just like that and just say screw all the young guys.
Yeah.
You're damn right. And you would probably win too.
I'm with you. So, all right, next one on the list though, Drake London. Me and Crab got him in the same spot up there at the back of the top 12. Ian don't even got him in the top 12.
I got him in the back of.
I know this. I think I did an episode at headquarters with Craftman and maybe Noah Dick Blower and Chris, and I think we did wide receiver rankings dynasty that night. And I was the only one who had Drake London. I had him in my top 12. I think I was the only one who had him in there. I've done moved him up just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Are
Number
you
10.
a Falcons fan, Matt?
Big Falcons fan. But listen, man, if you talk to most Falcons fans, they might say I'm the biggest hater.
That's good though. That shows a good fan.
I mean, the Falcons fans that I deal with, they make me sick. They make me sick. But Drake London, I mean, I kind of view him up there kind of in that Garrett Wilson tier. I just think Garrett Wilson's a little more talented. But remember when Drake London and Garrett Wilson was coming out, Drake London did go ahead of Garrett Wilson in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
And they was like kind of side by side with each other, along with like Treylon Burks in rookie drafts and back in the day. They was like kind of up in that range. So I've always kind of viewed Drake London up in there like that. But
the
now,
thing I feel like since they've been in the NFL is going to separate Garrett from Drake London. I bet you can't guess what it is.
what?
Sauce Gardner.
You talk about, are you about to get into like, oh, well, they be practicing together and stuff?
Yeah, talking about practice.
They're talking about practice.
Talking about
Hey,
practice.
that does mean a lot, though. I ain't gonna lie.
I agree, no doubt.
I just didn't know where to go when he said Sauce Gardner. I was like, all right,
I mean,
I hope he has something.
Yeah, you got Sauce guarding you every day, dude. You got one of the most driven, young, fast corners guarding you every day. You get out there, just about anybody you face is not going to be as good as Sauce. So I feel like that might that'll put Garrett above Drake in one aspect, you know. And honestly, in my eyes, I feel like Garrett Wilson is all around better person player than Drake London. Maybe they'll prove it different since Drake London will finally have somebody who can hit him deep a couple times. But we'll see. But
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like Sauce might be the difference maker, and he's already had him for a couple years. And I like the relationship they got going, and I want to see some of them Jets.
Yeah, I'll say this though, Kraft man, I would not be even a little bit surprised if the Jets, all that shit goes down the drain. None of that shit goes right with the Jets. And Drake London, we flip flopping Drake London and Garrett Wilson going into a dynasty ranking next year. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Aaron Rodgers and them gonna get it rolling this year, and we'll see how it goes. But you never know. Aaron Rodgers getting old. What if he goes down again? They in the same situation. Garrett Wilson another year of that stuff.
Yep.
The Drake London ranking is a Kirk Cousins ranking, is all it is, because you can't go on what he did his first 2 years, because Terry McLaurin back in the day, his rookie year, he was wide receiver 29, and the next year wide receiver 20. At a young age, but didn't have quarterback play. But he never got quarterback play. Drake London was wide receiver 31, and then last year wide receiver 37. So he's not winning anybody any leagues. DJ Moore, same thing. Just waiting on the quarterback. So this is the fantasy community saying that Drake London has a quarterback, because if Kirk Cousins is not the Kirk Cousins of old, he's just going to follow that path of Terry McLaurin probably.
Can we safely say that Drake London is not quarterback proof?
He's not.
No.
It don't get a lot worse, and it doesn't get much worse than Desmond Ridder, though. I can attest to that. Like this, he wasn't even playing with like Gardner Minshew or something like that. I mean, he did have Taylor Heineke for a little bit of the pass, the same way Terry McLaurin did. But
so let's do this right now. Let's do this before anybody else does it. Do we think Kirk Cousins is gonna put Drake London in the Justin Jefferson numbers?
No.
Why?
Because Justin Jefferson is a more complete route runner who succeeds in every area of the field. I don't think Drake London is that refined. I think I wouldn't say he's like a one-trick pony, but he's more of an intermediate, like Brandon Ayuk type,
So
he's not Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson can be moved all over the formation, and you can game plan for him. You can, if you want to, you can shut down Drake London if you're a defensive coordinator, if you really throw all your chips into that basket.
Yeah. So where do you think it's gonna move Drake London? How far up the tier do you think it's gonna tier Drake London up? Do you think having Kirk Cousins this year, do you think we'll be talking about Drake London in a different tier next year?
I think he's getting drafted at his ceiling, but I think that
that's where I'll disagree.
In redraft, I'll say it. He's getting drafted at the 201, like the wide receiver 10 or so. And I don't really see Drake London finishing. He might can get up like 8. I don't see him getting up to like top 5.
Do you see him finishing above Olave?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you see him finishing above Puka?
I think it's possible. I think it's up in the air. That one's tough.
What about Garrett Wilson?
I could see
if Rodgers stays healthy, I think I'll take Wilson.
I think, yeah. Okay. All right. What about Amon Ra, dude? Do you think Drake?
No.
Okay.
That gets me to where I want to say what you're talking about. I think his all-time ceiling, like Drake London's, the best of the best that you could get from Drake London would be like this top of tier 2 right here, and really a little bit lower than that.
I agree.
Because I don't ever see him getting on that CD, JJ, Amon Ra, Jamar. I don't ever see him getting like that. Okay. And then when you got Marv right there, so it's like 6 might be his all-time ceiling, maybe.
Okay. Let's say Drake London, plays up to his ADP this season. Say he's the wide receiver 10, wide receiver 8 this season. Kirk Cousins stays healthy all year. Kirk Cousins is going to be back next year. Does that keep Drake London where he's at? Because he didn't finish he wasn't the best, but he was still super solid. So does that move him to that top of that tier 2?
I feel like 10 is pretty good. I mean,
10 is very good. But Jalen Waddle finishes 8 one season, and I don't feel like he did. And Jalen Waddle moved up to the CD range. You remember we were talking Jalen Waddle versus CD,
a
couple years back. So does it move him up to that where we're talking about him like him or Marvin Harrison?
Easy answer is no. And the reason why is because how many years does he have with Kirk Cousins? I mean, we got to see if Michael Penix is going to be able to sustain that. And if Drake London does show us elite status with Kirk Cousins, then it might boost him into that realm. But at the same time, everybody in the back of their mind is going to be thinking, well, once Kirk is gone, then what?
So you got Puka that high, and Stafford's on his last leg.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably got less years than Kirk Cousins got.
Well, because Puka had a record rookie season, and Drake London did not.
I agree.
Yeah. But I'll say this. I think, what are we talking about? We're talking about getting up in that, Drake London getting in that discussion. I would say, I think Marv gets up in that tier 1, right? So I'm gonna take Marv out of this discussion, and I could see AJ Brown and Drake London really not being too much of a discussion, because if Drake London goes off, it's not a discussion. Drake London's gonna be ahead of AJ Brown. So then the debate is Drake London or Garrett Wilson, and
Yeah.
those are the ones who I've been saying could be flip flopped after this year.
Unless Olave just has a massive year, or Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors just has a crazy good rookie year or something like that. Or, I mean, even if Jalen Waddle goes off
Waddle,
again,
yeah.
that same year. But Tyreek's dropping. He could jump Tyreek for sure. He can jump A.J. Brown. He could jump Garrett Wilson, even if Garrett Wilson has a good year. If Rodgers says he's retiring, say Garrett Wilson has, a similar year to Drake London, they both finish, real close to one another, and then Rodgers leaves and Kirk Cousins stays, probably just go ahead and throw Drake London ahead.
Yeah. So that's just where I stand. Next guy I want to talk about is like Jalen Waddle. Me and you got him at 11. I'm not sure what other people got Jalen Waddle, but that seems like we might be a little higher on Jalen Waddle than most.
You
Think
think
maybe
we're
me and you just a little bit forgivable for last year. He was still pretty good, but Tyreek's the man, and things just didn't work out all year. But like you said just a few minutes ago, number 8, he's got a number 8 finish. So I got Waddle. Ian's got Nico. I got Nico down at 16. You got Nico down at crap, man. You got Nico down at 19. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm a Tank Dell guy. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm one of the few that has Tank Dell above Nico.
Let's talk about these Houston receivers then.
Yeah,
So
go for it. We're pretty solid on Waddle. I feel like we're all in the same boat on Waddle. Let's go to this Houston debate. I'm pretty much a Nico guy, and he just got paid again. But I have said going into this year, his ceiling is capped. That's all I've been saying. But as a fantasy stock, a dynasty stock, I love me some Nico.
with Stephon there, yeah, I think it is capped, but I think Tank Dell is the good receiver to have for the long run, but Nico Collins is the guy to have for now. Actually, I think Stephon Diggs is the guy to have this year. Hopefully, because it's on
That's what redraft is saying.
But I think Nico Collins for the short run, and then Tank for the long run.
Yeah, I think they're both for the long run. They're both super young. It's just I just like Tank Dell better. Nico Collins, third year breakout. Tank Dell was going to be right up there with the top guys last year if he'd have stayed healthy. I mean, he was just going off pretty much the whole entire season when he was healthy. So, and from everything that I've heard from CJ Stroud, he loves Tank Dell, and he's the one who brought him in. I would say that I could see with Diggs being there this year that Nico does outscore Tank Dell, because I think Diggs is at the point of his career where he's going to be running more intermediate routes in that Tank Dell area where Nico's kind of taking the top off the defense.
Yeah.
But when Diggs is gone, I think it's pick your poison with them two. But I just believe in the rookie season last year Tank Dell had compared to the third year breakout of Nico, because you just don't see that very often, and I can see it come crashing down for Nico.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty solid on Nico. Like, I got him at 16. So to put it in perspective, I've got him behind Devontae Smith. Like, I got Devontae Smith ahead of Nico. I got Odunze ahead of Nico. I got Odunze. Yeah, but I got Nico ahead of like Michael Pittman Jr. I got him ahead of DJ Moore, Addison, guys like that. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the realm I got him. I got him at 16. And listen, my thing is with Nico is I was a little worried about him not getting paid, maybe just a tad. I kind of always figured he was going to get some money. I'm glad he's got it now. So I'm real solid with Nico. I don't really got no problems with Nico.
No, I think I would put the percentages that he's gonna be fine. But I don't. It's not like I have him buried. You had him where at 16. I got him at 19. Yeah. I think
got him at 11, 12.
Ian's got him at 12.
Yeah.
You kind of got him buried, Alton.
I guess so. I got Tank Dell at 14.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the only thing flip flop because I got Tank Dell over at 21.
Where do you got Stephon?
He's not.
He's not
He's
in
not
my top
top
24.
33.
I don't want him either, man. You want to trade for him?
No, I'll pass.
I'm just kidding, dude. No, Stephon, I'm just going to keep him because he's not worth trading. Let's talk about Stephon Diggs. If you got him on your team, I think at this point, you're not going to be able to trade him for the production you can get from him. And it's kind of like a Devontae Adams. Like they're a good enough receiver where you feel like you got to start them until they prove otherwise. But you
Well,
don't.
what is it? What is it you looking for for Stephon Diggs? Because like you could sell Stephon Diggs to a competitor, to someone who's competing for a first straight up right now. I mean, I
I
feel
don't know
like,
if you
but
can.
you don't think so? A 25 first to
I
a
mean,
competitor?
I could barely get. I got Adams for a first for like the 110, and I think Adams is going to have a much better season than Diggs, and they
Ah.
probably got 1 year left. So, I don't see if you're trying to predict after this year with Diggs and Adams, that's kind of a fool's errand.
Yeah, it'll be hard to trade for a first. I think. If
Had to
if
be late.
if,
Definitely
if
have to be late.
yeah, it'll definitely be a late first, and um, it, with Stephon, like I still think he's gonna produce, at least 150 fantasy points this year. I mean, he might not hit that 200 range with the elite guys, but I think he's gonna get well over 100, and that's good enough for a wide receiver too for me. I mean, I got Stephon, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, and Khalil Shakir right now. So I'm kind of I think I might have a couple of the guys that I'm missing out, but I'm kind of banking on Stephon for another year. Make sure T. Higgins gets this bill. I know he just signed that franchise tag. Where y'all got T. Higgins at? Is T dropping off the charts, or is he coming back up since he signed the franchise tender?
Go ahead, Matt. You're the T. Higgins lover.
That's why I'm sitting here smiling ear to ear about this ranking right here that I'm looking at because Craftman has T. Higgins at 20 and I got him sliding in at 24.
Ooh,
Oh
Just
no!
barely in.
Oh no!
We need Chris up in here, man. I would love to hear where he's got T. Higgins. I
Yeah.
mean, it just comes down to it. Like some of these decisions, I do say, who would I rather have in a startup? Just a little bit. Rankings
and
are always different than just like going through a startup draft. You know what I'm saying? Like I never walk into a draft like, okay, strictly going by my rankings. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like one guy that I got Higgins behind, is like I got him behind Zay Flowers, but I got him behind George Pickens. I'm kind of buying into George Pickens this year, and then best ball, he's going as like wide receiver 28. And I'm just like loving that price, like on George Pickens. So I'd be kind of buying in at George Pickens at price right now. I think he could probably do some things. I got Tank Dell ahead of Higgins, of course. I got JSN at 20. That's the thing. Do y'all have JSN up in there?
I got him at 29.
Okay. Of course, I
no,
got Addison ahead of JSN, but JSN's still up in there.
What about two players who similar production since they've been in the league, about the same age? DK Metcalf or T Higgins?
Man, listen, man. My decision with DK, I just don't know he was like the main one I didn't know what to do with. I don't even have him in my top 24 because I got him right here at 25. I could
Same.
easily have him at like 18. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
got him at
So
25 too, right
I
behind Debo.
like play
and,
with DK. I think it comes down to the quarterback there, man. And
yeah.
that's the same thing with T. Higgins, dude. If he sticks with Burrow, see, I traded for Higgins this last year and Ayuk because I felt like those were two of the best upcoming receivers, and I took a chance because neither one of them had contracts yet. But I'm pretty sure both of them are going to get it in the end, and I think in the end, whether T. Higgins stays with Cincinnati or he moves on, I think it's still a good investment. And it's tough to say, but you gotta take your chances. You know what I mean? You gotta go off of sheer talent, and I mean T Higgins he's got 3,000 yards over the last 3 years, so it's pretty good production.
He's got good production, and I got him at 20, so I cannot believe I got him higher than you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You got Jordan Addison ahead of him, right? You love Jordan Addison, right, Matt?
Yep. Jordan Addison at 19.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. You got Debo ahead of him?
I don't have Debo up in there neither. He was tough to put up in here too, man. I didn't know what to do about him.
What about Xavier Worthy?
Nowhere near mine.
Okay.
Nowhere near mine. I would
Worthy's-
like to know where Chris got him, but he ain't sliding up nowhere near my top 24.
Yeah, I hadn't updated. Here's a conversation to have. What do you do with Rashee Rice right now in your dynasty rankings, based on just this season and the suspension and Xavier Worthy coming in? I mean, he had to, even if he was, even if he didn't do anything in the offseason to warrant a suspension, with Xavier Worthy coming in, he still would have dropped a little. So, where do you think Rashee Rice belongs in all of this?
Man, man. Here's my honest opinion about Rashee Rice. Wherever you had him at the end of last season is just where you should have him now, man. It does not even. This dude probably not even gonna get in trouble, and even if he does, what are we talking about? Half a season at the most. I would not even panic on Rashee Rice.
The Xavier Worthy thing don't mess with it a little bit, drop him down a little bit.
I just think Rashee Rice has proven that he can play. Xavier Worthy's just got to prove he can play. If he can, then they're both gonna eat. That's just the truth of it. Them two, and Kelsey will get some action.
Yeah,
So
I think Rice might.
They need more weapons. I have no doubt that Mahomes can support 3-4 guys. You know what I'm saying? To a point where you would want them where they'll be fantasy relevant. You know what I'm saying? These guys the guys he's been playing with just proving that they can't play. Like Sky Moore and them guys, they just can't play. If Xavier Worthy can play, he's going to play, and him and Rashee Rice, they're going to ball out. It might even help Rashee Rice.
Yeah, man. I think Rashee Rice is going to be fine. That man came in and balled out, and I love when a player values drop. If I didn't have him on my team, I'd be going to get him, and you can't sell him right now, but I think he's going to be a great player in this league for years to come. And I think Xavier Worthy going there is only going to help Rashee do better because they're not going to be able to sell out on Rashee anymore. They're going to have to cover the Zay on the long I don't even know what they're going to be doing there, but it's I think Rashee Rice is a hold on to him, hold and wait type player, and I think he's going to do good. And he probably by the end of the year, I think he'll probably end up being a staple piece in your lineup in Dynasty. Yeah,
this is Rashee Rice after the bye week last season when he finally started getting over like 50% of the snaps. This is half PPR too. This isn't full. So 6 points, 20, 10, 14, 19, 8, 15 in half point PPR.
Yeah.
So you're probably, I don't have his exact finishes from like week 9 on, but he was definitely a borderline wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
End of last season.
All day. And somebody, I ended up putting him in my lineup as my wide receiver 1, over Stephon and T. Higgins and Brandon Ayuk. I was dead set on Rashee Rice there at the end of the season. I think he's going to be fine, going to come back from the suspension and be probably even better, because he's been overlooked. And I think if you got Rashee Rice, don't get rid of him. Hold on to it and see what happens. What do you got to lose? And then after 3 big performances, if you still don't like them, you can ship them off for a really good price.
Yeah, that's definitely the route to take. I got him at wide receiver 21 right now, right behind T. Higgins. So, I don't feel like I buried him too far. I mean, he's still ahead of Debo, Metcalf. So one guy I got a little bit lower than you, Matt, Zay Flowers. I got him at 28. You said you had him in your top 24, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like I'm low on Zay Flowers. Like, I got him at 23, and I feel like I'm lower. Bang, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think Zay Flowers, I'm going to give him this year or two. We just going to see how it goes. That's all I'm going to say. Because I could easily have – it's just like I was saying with DK. I could easily have him at 18. I could easily have Zay Flowers behind Debo and all them guys. And honestly, but the thing, and another thing is, I never pick Zay Flowers in nothing. Never pick him in best ball.
Yeah.
Never pick him in dynasty. This is just one of them gut feelings. I think he's just going to be a solid player. I think Rashad Bateman is nothing. Another year, hey, Rashad Bateman, he falls in that category where Twitter loves him. Loves him.
Yeah.
Somehow he just got paid again. I think, I don't know. Let's just see how it plays out. I think Zay Flowers could be better than this year. I'm going to keep him in my top 24 for now.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't – Lamar Jackson really hasn't supported a wide receiver one since he's been in the league, and that's what scares me off of him a little bit. It's kind of Mark Andrews, and then it gets spread around a little bit. Zay Flowers is the best receiver on that team by far. I'm not, like you said, I'm not scared of Rashad Bateman, but I'm just – the only reason I got him below is I just don't think there's a massive ceiling there at all. And Lamar just don't really produce wide receiver ones. He's had some stretches, like Marquise Brown had a good stretch there for a while with him, but for a full season, you don't really see Lamar Jackson's receivers winning you leagues.
Right. But you do see his tight ends winning you leagues, and I very appreciate that trade.
Yeah. I got Dalton Kincaid. I'm all right.
What was the trade?
Go ahead, Ian. Or I remember. I gave him Mark Andrews and got Dalton Kincaid in the 110.
Yeah.
Wait, you got Kincaid and the 110?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
If it was the other way around, I would have been. I was like, that's a good trade for both. But
well,
I like Kincaid.
Well, my thing is, I got Laporta. I had Laporta, Kincaid, Komet, and tight end premium league. I won championship last year, so
Oh yeah, that's true. So you don't your first round pick, but crap, man. What do you say? Who do you value higher, Kincaid or Andrews?
For this season, I would probably take Andrews, but because you're kind of you're hoping Kincaid is the number one on that offense, but I could really see, Buffalo just being like the Packers and just spreading the ball around to like here having some games and Curtis Samuel having some games, Kincaid. But I think the dynasty community is pretty much dead set on Kincaid's going to be the target leader there with Buffalo.
Yeah, I am too.
It might not though. I mean, there's still a chance. Like Kincaid's just a fundamental player on that team and not a star.
And there would have been no chance in hell I would have traded Kincaid for that if I didn't already have Laporta. And so we're in a tight end premium league, and I'm thinking get the tight end 1 and the tight end 2. Fuck a pick. I already got C.J. Stroud, Jahmyr Gibbs, Breece Hall. You know what I mean? I'm sitting pretty good on the young guys. Go ahead and get an old stud that I know might push me to a second championship back to back. That would just solidify the dynasty. If we're talking about dynasty, and I thought it was a pretty good trade. And plus, I love my little cousin. He's not great at this, so I got to help him out sometime.
All right. Can we end the podcast? Is it over now? We done?
Yeah, crap, man. What do you say? Anything wide receiver wise? Anything wide receiver wise we need to bring up?
Nah, I was really just kidding around. But about Andrews, he's not old for tight end. I mean, he still could have 3 or 4 good seasons. He's 28. He can play into his 30s. It's not like you traded for Travis Kelce and gave up, Kincaid. I think Andrews is he's been right there with Kelce until he gets injured, but he just gets injured every single year. So
yeah.
He's
a great flex play. He's like the best flex play you could have.
Nah, man. Nah.
I got some stuff, Matt, receiver wise though. I gotta
go ahead.
We gotta talk about the vets mixing in with the rookies because if your tiers are anything like mine, you got like Mike Evans sprinkled in, with Xavier Worthy, and I got him right next to like Zay Flowers and stuff, JSN. And then I just went ahead and put the 4 veterans like back to back to back, like Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, back to back to back.
Yeah.
But where do you side when you're doing a startup? Let's just say you don't really have a direction you're headed. You haven't drafted like to win now, and you also haven't drafted just youth upon youth. Like, are you taking like a Keon Coleman? Are you going to take like a Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams, or what are you doing with this?
Those questions are always so tough, man, because I'm buying into Cooper Kupp, especially for this year, like super hard. All those guys. I'm gonna be real. I think I would probably take those veterans above. Because let's just say, because where are we taking those veterans at? We're probably talking like we took Mike Evans in like what, the 8th round or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, in theory, I would hope that I would have me a couple young receivers already, a couple guys that maybe could, like, what do we have? CD and Nico. So then we go a vet. You know what I'm saying? So I would take the vet over Keon Coleman personally. Keon Coleman's it's like a super upside, very best ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could go off. He could be great. You know what I'm saying? As a dynasty.
Yeah. What about the guys that did play last season, but like Jaden Reed or like I said, JSN? You taking Mike Evans or somebody like that over them guys?
That's just a team build thing at that point. If I got players that I could compete with, I'll probably take a vet. But I mean, I like JSN. He's like a buy low for me right now. Like, people were super high on JSN. He's kind of dropped. So if he's up there in that 8 to 9 range, man, you might as well just grab it.
Yeah. And what do you say? You're taking the vets. I already know how you roll.
Yeah, man. And at that point in the draft, I mean, you should have already established a young receiver and go ahead and get a solidified role for a couple years. I mean, with your DK Metcalf or your Debo's or your Devontae, your Stephon. Mike Evans is honestly probably tops the list of the guys out since Keenan Allen moved teams. I mean, Keenan Allen would definitely be on the top because of the year he had last year. Oh my God. I would have killed to have Keenan Allen on redraft or dynasty. But he moved teams and it is not, I don't believe in it. I mean, Keenan Allen is a great receiver, but I feel like he needs a great quarterback too at this point in his career. So I think Mike Evans is up there at the top. He's got chemistry with Baker. Baker is very overlooked. He's been cocky, but I think he's been humbled, and I think he's kind of got the Drew Brees thing going on where he's a small quarterback and everybody hates on it, but it's going to take him to really to show that he can win at least a playoff game, and to hopefully a Super Bowl. That'd be awesome for him. But I believe Mike Evans could take him there, and Mike Evans topped my list of veterans. But yeah, Cooper Kupp, those guys, Devontae Adams, they're must haves if you're trying to win. It's good to have a couple good vets that are sure going to play at least 90% of the snaps and get somewhere around 100 fucking targets. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I agree totally. Well, I mean, I think we all sided on the vets right there.
Comes a point in time where you might as well take the vets. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, unless you just truly believe in Keon Coleman. Like if Chris was put in a situation with that or Xavier Worthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he likes Xavier Worthy, but he also likes vets. He'd have a little conundrum on his hands.
And I got Ladd McConkey ranked ahead of all them vets.
Yeah. So you would take Ladd over all them?
Yeah. I'm taking Ladd. Ladd's the future of the Chargers, man. He's Justin Herbert's guy. He's going to be Justin Herbert's guy for the long run. He's filling the Keenan Allen role, and I don't know. I might be wrong about this one, but they ain't said nothing bad about him yet. They've been raving over Ladd McConkey and the whatever mini camps. But
Hey, I'll give you all my first round picks for the foreseeable future for Ladd McConkey.
Y'all crazy, man. Y'all way. Listen, I like Ladd McConkey, but y'all way up there hyping him up, man.
We'll see. We'll see when we talk about it next season.
That boy's oh man.
There's definitely a path. Definitely a path. I ain't gonna lie. All right, what else, Craft man? What else sticks out to you, man?
I'm just gonna name like a couple guys that I know me and you agree on, like some guys that can help you win this season, receiver wise. They're like in my wide receiver 30 to 40 range, but Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, and Deontay Johnson. I think all these guys are being slept on a little bit and all of them guys could finish as a wide receiver 2 for your team. I mean, Christian Kirk finished as a wide receiver 11 one season with Trevor Lawrence. And he's probably the top of my list. I know you like Deontay. I don't know if you like him more than Kirk, but
they're right there.
Yeah, for this season, Christian Kirk's kind of my must-have, like wide receiver 3. If I could get him in every redraft league I play in as my wide receiver 3, I'm ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you the whole way. And you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, man, I totally agree, dude. I like Christian Kirk this year. Deontay Johnson being over in Panthers territory. I think Bryce Young is due for an upkick this year. They kind of did some shit to build around him, and I like Deontay. It's especially in redraft. I don't know what it would take to go out and get him. People are probably high on him right now. It'll probably be too much risk per reward to try to get him at this point. But if you have him, I think maybe not a must start at the beginning of the season, but I think you'll be able to the cream will rise to the top within a couple of weeks with Deontay Johnson and but Christian Kirk, totally love that one. Trevor Lawrence just got paid, which means his game's probably going to slack this year. Every time somebody paid, it seems like the game slacks off. I don't know what it is.
I would agree, but they had kind of a down year last year. I feel like they're going to try to bounce back.
He did have a down year last year. And Kirk was still putting up numbers.
Right. I hate to see that D production this year then.
I'm high on Christian Kirk. I traded Zamir White for Christian Kirk, and I was getting ready to roll Christian Kirk, but then I traded Christian Kirk and 2 firsts to go get Devontae Smith, who Crabman was just boasting about earlier in the episode. So
Devontae slick, man. That's a good pick.
Crabman, what else you got for me?
I mean, I think I'm good. Breakout this season, Jameson Williams. I mean, all day.
Oh my god,
that boy's going off.
Man, Crabman, I really got to know. Do you really believe that?
I think that I would like
the Detroit Lions, Jameson Williams.
I think he's the best ball bet you can get in the range that he's going at. I think he's playing all the snaps this season. Josh Reynolds ain't gonna be there. He's gone. You could argue that he couldn't beat out Josh Reynolds. I understand.
Hey,
Austin. I understand both sides of the coin that he couldn't get on the field because Josh Reynolds was out there, but Jameson's good, man. He's gonna be fine. I'm telling you.
Hey, crap! There's a best ball where I go in where it's running back heavy. Jameson Williams is like my wide receiver 3. He's like going as wide receiver 48 right now, best ball or something like that.
Jameson Williams or Christian Watson?
Christian Watson.
Yeah.
You got any more? Is that all you got, crap?
When I was going in,
is that all you got, Christian Watson? That's it.
And I mean,
that hot take.
Yeah, pretty much. George Pickens.
George Pickens with ease. With
Russell Wilson throwing in the ball.
Yes. Yeah.
I could see it, but George Pickens is getting a lot of hype right now. We gave him the hype last year. I mean, we were right about it.
I've been back and forth. I think it'll be all right for him this year.
Pickens could be. I mean, we get a lot of Drake London talk with how high he is. George Pickens has outperformed Drake London his first 2 seasons. with just as bad a quarterback play. So I can definitely see a way. Like George Pickens is one of them guys that I could see like jumping a couple tiers, and we're talking about him way up there next season if everything pans out because the talent's there. But to see how the Steelers want to run that offense.
Yeah, it comes down to the quarterback play.
Yeah, I'd definitely take Pickens over Jameson. That's not close. I just kind of I can see Jameson having some really big games. You're just not going to know when to start him. That's why he's a best ball guy for me.
I think it's dead. Personally.
I seem to remember me having a hot take on Amon Ra last year.
Because what was it? It was negative, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very negative. I was like, Jameson Williams gonna take them fucking routes from Amon Ra. He's gonna have a slump year. But that's gonna be this year. That's gonna be this year, man. No, I mean Amon Ra's gonna get his shit. Amon Ra's gonna get paid on the field and off the field.
He's already gotten paid.
That's what I'm saying. And he's gonna get paid on the field in footballs.
Yeah. I mean that's what I'm saying, man. Amon Ra, man. The reason why I like him so much is the consistency, bro. When you put him in your lineup, it's like 20 plus every week. You know what I'm saying? You're counting on it.
Yeah.
So,
I just love me some Amon Ra, man. I debated him, but with Justin Jefferson at 2.
But I could see like you got the Bears guys. If one of them receivers goes down, you could see like a doomsday rising to the top. I mean, if Laporta or Amon Ra goes down, I think Jameson he's going to have like premier opportunity to show if he's got it or not.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely don't want to see Amon Ra or anybody get hurt, but you can talk about it in that category as if somebody were to go down, he could do real well.
Well, real quick, Crab Man, before we hop off tonight, let me just ask you: would you trade Jaylen Warren for Kendre Miller?
That's close. Man.
No.
Oof.
What if you could get a little something on top, like a second?
Yes.
Do you think that Kendre Miller? This is a question you have to ask. Will the Saints draft a running back when Kamara is gone next season? Or is Kendre Miller going to be? This is going to be Kendre Miller's third season. Are they going to give the reins to Kendre Miller in his third year if he hasn't really shown that he's that guy? That's the problem.
That all depends on performance. Let me say it again. That all depends on performance from Kendre Miller.
He could go off this year, Kraft Man.
Yeah, I know, but you can go off this year. But what if Kamara is getting 75% of it and Kendre Miller is like Jaylen Warren last season? I mean, we're comparing them head to head. Jaylen Warren showed he's capable with the amount of work he's given, which is about 45% of the work. Kendre Miller gets 45% of the work and is producing like Jaylen Warren last season. Does Kendre Miller get the backfield to himself when Kamara's gone?
Yes.
If Kamara's healthy, he's not getting over 50% of the work. I mean, unless he's just that damn good and takes it from him.
Yeah. But I feel like Kendre Miller definitely has the job when Kamara's gone.
Was it second pick? Second, third.
I feel like it's harder for Kendre Miller to take Kamara's job than it is for Jaylen Warren to take Najee Harris's job. Like I feel like Najee is on a much tighter leash because of his lack of performance in the past couple years. And I'm not saying it's his fault. I think Najee's a great runner. And I think they definitely bolstered their offensive line this year to promote success for their running game. But I think Jaylen Warren is going to be the most successful producer from that bolster. And I think it's going to have a bigger gain than what Kendre Miller is going to get. So I feel like Kendre Miller is an easier target to target, where if you don't need somebody this year and you just kind of got a feeling, I think Kendre Miller is your guy to go after, whereas Jaylen Warren is going to probably be too expensive to get this year.
And I mean, Jalen Warren we've only known him for 2 seasons, but he's going on age 26. Kendra was 20 years old as a rookie. He's going to play this season younger than a lot of the rookies that came out this year. So
Yeah.
Kendra, we talked about Kendra Miller we just put him in the rookie draft this season. Like, you taking him behind Trey Benson, like where you, and I think if Kendra Miller was in the rookie draft, he would probably be behind Trey Benson and before like Blake Corum and Marshawn Lloyd and all them guys to me. So if you're looking for like a draft pick, I think he's worth probably a mid-second to late second. So, and I think that's where Jalen Warren's worth is too. So, it's a pretty fair trade, straight up. Just gotta, you're really calling it with Kendra Miller, but Jalen Warren's ceiling isn't as high.
That was just one I just wanted to toss out there, man. Just because I've been thinking about tossing it out in my home league. But with that said, man, let's wrap things on the Craft Man. You got anything you want to say?
No, I'm good. I think we got them receivers, down pat.
Ian, anything you want to say before we hop off?
Nah, man. Yeah, I think we did pretty good. We got it lined up. I just can't wait for some ball to start, dude. Think of it.
You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying.
So, you got it.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. 5-star review.
As always, give a shout out to my boys. Potty Pooper here. Craft Man does his thing. Matt Hamm keeps us together, and I just shit on the whole situation.
Let's do it then. Craft Man. Well, I guess that's it. That's all we're gonna do. So with that said, we out.
Peace.
Peace.